All right, folks, let's get airborne with our primary live trade brief, 1 o'clock Eastern on the Eastern United States. Got a lot to cover today. Glad we got out of our FXI burner trade yesterday. The FXI and China's kind of given a little bit of a sell on the news, as we predicted. I've moved from the 0.5 to a 0.7 to a 0.8 delta that, the market's we're just going to pull back on this, on the news of a trade deal. Buy on the rumor, sell on the news, is what we're looking at here. So, all right, let's go ahead and do a strategic brief. We'll get operational, and then we'll get tactical. Real quick, getting random emails every once in a while, folks. If you're new to TGO, underneath the member content tab, go over to this getting started video. It's a 25 minute video that would answer all of your questions that you're bombarding support with. So please, if you're new, watch the getting started video. It's right here. It says getting started. See, hover over member content and go over to getting started. Still having people wondering, hey, I didn't get the link, or how do I get the link to log in? I cover it multiple times, folks. So please, that's why I made a video, so I can cover all these issues, and I don't have to take up airtime like I'm doing right now to cover these issues again. We'll take a look at the EWZ and see how things are going down to the south. It really is a tragedy with the dam break down south. We saw that right here when a bunch of Vale executives were arrested. Still seeing, we're seeing a little bit of give some of the, there's the inauguration of Bolsonaro pop. Kind of EWZ's moving sideways. We're working on some spreads and doing some good work in EWZ. So it's a extremely profitable trade since we decided to get in it. Right there was the runoff election announcement, and it's up 38%. EWZ's up 38%. There's a monster rally, kind of a double bottom right there. Monster rally out of EWZ. So this is a yes. This is a definite 2021. Long-term bullish position on EWZ, and really like it. A quick reminder, tonight at 7, we're going to be doing covered calls and cash secured puts. We're going to be doing our training tonight, full throttle session number 3. And then on Thursday at 7, I think we start spread. So regular training schedule for tonight and Thursday night. So good stuff going on down there, but it really is a heartbreaking. I don't know if you've watched the videos of this dam breaking. It's just, look at the devastation, man. You just, watching this video, it really does make you feel very insignificant. I think death toll's up around 200 or something like that. It's just, it's shocking to see, but not shocking to see that people in a business were notified and that something bad could happen, and we're kind of shrug their shoulders and don't care. So kind of sad. All right, what a busy day, kind of on the hill, both ends of the hill. That scumbag Donald Trump's attorney, Cohen, is coming up. So the man's a convicted felon, convicted of lying to Congress. He's going to jail for lying to Congress, but they're going to bring him up here to throw all sorts of crap all over the president. He's going to, the Journal saying Cohen's going to testify that Trump engaged in criminal conduct while in office. What did he do? Allegedly, told him to make a payment to that former adult actor. I love how the liberal media has changed it from porn star to like adult film star or something like that. So it's not illegal, folks. Businessmen, people in private sector, you can pay anybody you want to do, unless you're Robert Kraft down here in South Florida. But you can pay people not to talk. It's not illegal as long as it's not to influence an election. So, Karen, it absolutely is. I posted a couple articles on our Facebook page today. I forget her name. Former federal prosecutors, like the entire Russia collusion thing was made up on purpose by the FBI and the Department of Justice to try and usurp a sitting president. I don't know why that piece of shit McCabe is sitting on The View talking about his book deal when he should be hanging from the end of a rope. We've lost it. We really have lost it. What's his name? Bob DeGeneva or something like that. I think he's on the president's legal team. He's a former federal prosecutor. He's like, we're in a civil war. He's like, I'm buying guns. That's the closest I've seen a high ranking heavy going, hey man, we're we're in a civil war, and it was disturbing to hear that from a guy, and him saying we're buying guns. But anyway, so as this guy's on Capitol Hill spewing trash, the president is in Vietnam. Cream of some young guys in Vietnam, and I love how Democrats have gone from saying, you know, he's going to get us all killed to you better have some sort of huge agreement out of Vietnam or you're a failure. The dude can't win. We obviously know that. There's two sets of rules, and the hypocrisy is just thick. Still got the three top-ranking Democrats in Virginia, from blackface to KKK to rape, and they're still all in power. It's a disgrace. What's going on in this country is a disgrace. All these Democrats saying either the president comes home with something huge or it's a failure. How long did it take for us to win the Cold War? Does everybody remember Ronald Reagan, all the talks that he had? He actually left Reykjavik. He walked out on Gorbachev. He left. He's like, we're done. So he left because he didn't like the deal that he was getting. Ultimately, we won. So the guy can't do anything right. You know, when he said, I'm going to nuke or destroy this man and this and that. No, he's going to get us killed, to meeting with the man. Oh, my God, he's an idiot for meeting with him and now he's an idiot again for meeting with him. I can't stand hypocrisy, and it's thick. So the president's overseas as Democrats pull Cohen up to the Hill. And by the way, the Fed chief is sitting on the Hill. But let's talk China. So, yeah, James, I saw that. The Born Alive thing. Yeah, senators voted against the Born Alive bill. So Democrats are on record for killing children, for they're okay with murdering children. That's after you're born. If they don't think it's a child up until birth, they've actually crossed the line, folks, and now they're saying you can kill a kid after it's born. You want to know who the real Nazis are? I'm starting to figure it out. It's a disgrace. It's disgusting, and we're in trouble, man. We are in a lot of trouble. The only good thing about what's going on right now is that this president has smoked everybody out of hiding. From actors that have to attack themselves. It's just it's awful. Yeah, exactly, Brad. They sell the parts. Planned Parenthood, man. How much do you want to get for an arm, a brain, whatever? We need to. I'm telling you, man, I'm on this, it's a secret Facebook forum, with a bunch of old fighter pilots, man. When you piss off a lot of dudes that, believe in well-regulated militias and can fly tactical airplanes pretty damn well, you're in trouble. We'll take this country back, by force if needed. I've had it. It's, we will get to a breaking point where, the silent majority is going to rise up. All right, so the president is he's kicking the football down the field a little bit. The March 1st tariffs are not going to be increased, so we're still firing. We're still bringing money into the coffers here, and a bunch of people saying sign me up. Well, exactly. We'll have our own Top Gun option squadron. So the president's seeing, quote, substantial progress in trade negotiations. So he's saying, hey, we don't need to increase our tariffs. I think things are going good. I don't. Okay. But who cares, right? Chinese stocks soar into bull market on massive volume after tariff delay deadline. Then what happened today? That was yesterday. What happened today? Chinese brokerage servers crash amid stock buying frenzy. So the Shanghai Composite had this rip your face off rally. However, don't believe it. Let's take a look at this. What the FXI do today? Down over 1%. It was down about 0.8% when I shot the sit rep. Now it's now we're selling off even harder here. This is going down. I'm about to get bearish. So look at that gap down, and we're heading lower on FXI. Did everybody get out of the burner trade yesterday? Sent out an alert. We did in weekly options. I guess it was kind of a joint brief, but the burner trade that we looked at. So we closed. If you were long the March 19 40 calls, they were up $3,000 yesterday. A little over $3,000. So if you just did the calls, long calls, man, that's a hell of a profit on some long calls. That's a triple-digit gain. And then the burner trade that we did, the 42.5, 42 bull put spread, and the 44 calls, that was about a $6,600 profit. Got a couple texts and emails from folks. Very happy with that. A couple of you had both of those on, nearly a $10,000 profit in 2 weeks. So that's pretty nice. But, when presented with new information, you can shift. My commit criteria and strategic mindset for getting into that trade changed. Well, first of all, we had a nice profit, but second of all, my commit criteria for getting into that burner trade has changed. We had a nice velocity and, upside bias to FXI. Now I think it's going to be a sell on the news, folks. The Bill Blaine yesterday, here's what's going to happen, man. The president has been saying we're not going to do any deal with China unless it's a huge deal that covers everything, comprehensive, from opiates to, a business to you name it. It was everything. He's not going to get that. Now, we all know the president, he's going to claim absolute victory and he got everything and it's a great deal. It's not going to be. Okay, everybody knows that. The three main sticking points are the theft of intellectual property, the forced transfer of technology from U.S. to Chinese companies, and the Chinese government subsidizing businesses. For China to change those three massive centers of gravity, they would have to change China. Right? They essentially have to become us. They ain't doing that anytime soon. I mean, President Xi Jinping, even though we've been photo ops and everything like that, meeting with Mnuchin and the president meeting with his dude and shaking hands, has said we're not going to fundamentally change the way we do things. So the vice premier sitting in the Oval Office saying, hey, throwing a couple bones or soybeans at the president, saying, hey, we're going to buy a couple, for the first time in the history of China and the United States, they're going to import rice. Oh my God, that's great. It's nothing, man. I briefed you last week on the on what happened with Kraft Heinz, right? And the Chinese army trading. Somebody sent me an email the other day. They read the Nigerian book and they talked about the Bin Laden trade, right? Unusual options activity in the airlines before the 9/11 attacks. Folks, our enemies will make money on killing us. They do. It's just the Kraft. The Kraft call options were just massively stupid amount. So of course they were going to get investigated. So it was interesting, but I am absolutely convinced that we're going to sell on the news. So here we are at a quadruple top, and we physically ran out of airspeed. We literally hit the top of the quad, and we're heading lower. So, Rick, no, I don't. I don't. We'll talk about that tonight when we do covered calls, but Rick's saying, just curious, do you also invest in high yield, low price stocks for the purpose of the dividend? I'm not a dividend trader. I mean, like investing for my mom, I maybe buying a utility stock with a nice dividend and doing some covered calls. Yay. But no, it's just, I don't, and not, there are so many more ways to make a hell of a lot more money without doing dividend stuff, but that's just me. So Jerome Powell on the Hill today, his semi-annual Humphrey Hawkins testimony, and as expected, the Republicans kind of patting him on the back a little bit, Democrats smacking him around a little bit, Elizabeth Warren, sounding just like a complete jackwad. Nothing, he didn't move the markets. He really did look like a defeated man or capitulated, or he certainly, folks, it seems like a year ago, it wasn't that long ago. He wasn't the dude back here on October 3rd or whenever it was. That wasn't Jerome Powell on the Hill today. So it's really interesting to see the transformation of Jerome Powell. This was kind of if you're the Federal Reserve commanding officer, this was kind of a war that you went through. This was kind of a Vietnam and a Korea. Let's declare victory and go home. I briefed you that on Friday, the Atlanta Fed chief said, hey man, we're definitely going to have an interest rate increase this year and maybe one next year. And we're going to run off our balance sheet. So that the Atlanta dude was definitely a lot more hawkish, than the Fed chief has been recently. So, but let's take a look at what's going on today, man. There was some very bad stuff to come out there. Home Depot missed everything. Top, bottom, same store. You name the category, Home Depot absolutely missed everything. And speaking of Home Depot, let's take a look at home stuff today. Building permits essentially in line-ish. Housing starts imploded, like first time since 2012. The Case-Shiller Index, 20 cities, man, imploded. Housing is dying here in the United States. Ray, I saw that case. Yeah, who is it? The ACLU suing. Yeah, the World War I Peace Cross in Maryland. It's going to the Supreme Court. So if the Supreme Court rules that you can't have a cross on Arlington National Cemetery, well, it's creepy, Ray. So all the Americans buried in Normandy, France, or Holland, or all over Europe, all those cemeteries, they can keep their cross and their Star of David. But in Arlington, we're gonna change everything at Arlington National Cemetery and make it just a slab. I can't stand people like this, man. Go form your own country. Have New York, California, and Illinois break off from the United States, form their own country. We'll send every illegal immigrant that wants to hop a wall. We will build a wall. We'll build walls, alleyways. Let's build an alleyway to San Fran feces, Chicago, and New York City. And then let's see how all those cities do in 3 years. So it's awful. But anyway, the conference board number was pretty good today. So we are seeing right now, folks, a mix. This is mixed data. The conference board confidence number rebounded in February. U.S. home price growth, the weakest since 2012. Covered this the other day. For the first time since 2000, most assets are overbought. What's overbought? Everything. The everything indicator. The S&P 500 is overbought. 10-year, 2-year gold, oil, you name the thing, it's overbought. So we are at a quadruple top. So was that it for the trade war optimism euphoria? We've been saying this all along, guys. I was, for a while there, I did the whole, when, not if we get a trade deal, we're going to see a rip. I remember saying this often a long time ago. I said, when, not if we see a trade deal, we'll see a rip your face off rally that makes 2017 look like a bear market. And then I stopped saying that right around here. The trade agreement is priced in. It is official. You ready for this? I'm a 0.8 delta that we're going to sell on the news. There is absolutely no and did anybody see JP Morgan pre-warn today that their Q1 trading revenue is going to be absolutely horrible? JP Morgan, thank God we got out of that, or I got out of that. Anybody still in JP Morgan? Dead money, man. Thank God. Got out about a year ago, 13 months ago. JP Morgan down 9.4%. And we got to talk Visa this week. Got into Visa during that time, and that's up 19%. So hopefully everybody, I know some of you stayed in JP Morgan. Get out of JP Morgan. Is there anybody still holding on to JP Morgan? Get out. So, yeah, exactly, Karen. JP Morgan was the one who started the downgrade talk of CME. Did you see that? Yeah. JP Morgan last week downgraded CME, and then they come out this week and say their trading revenues are going to suck. So, Karen, you're starting to see how Wall Street works. It's comical when you see like a Goldman Sachs downgrade a fellow bank member. It's funny. They all go drink and make fun of each other, and then they downgrade each other. So, Marcia still has her puts in JP Morgan. Maybe not a bad idea. It's dead money, folks. JP Morgan is dead money. Not only dead money, it's most likely going lower. I'd be bearish on JP Morgan here and all the banks. Folks, the only reason I was somewhat bullish on the banks a year and a half to 2 years ago, remember I had my gold, I had my Olympic financials, right? Goldman Sachs used to be first, then JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. I couldn't stand Lloyd Blankfein. The guy decided when he got a Twitter account to troll President Trump for like a couple weeks until people like me, or enough people like me, said, hey, dude, why don't you go work on your fixed income, currency, and commodity divisions instead of trolling the president? He's gone. It was like he announced he was leaving and stayed around for like 7 months. He was like a bad house guest. JP Morgan and the other blue blood banks will not be profitable and will not rise again until we get interest rates going up. Right? So, Rick, I'm not familiar with that. The 60.8% level on the bullish percent chart. In my opinion, man, we are way overbought. I was cautiously bullish through here. Big C, little b. I moved to market neutral last week. I am bearish. It's official. I'm bearish. This is, folks, we failed. We failed to take out this quadruple top. What's the catalyst to make us go higher here, folks? Deal with North Korea. The president even before getting on the airplane and last week tried to lower expectations so low that even the guy showing up would be a victory. And of course, Democrats raised expectations so high that if he doesn't end the Korean War and sign a peace agreement, it's failed. The market ain't going to rally or fall on what happens in Vietnam, period. Okay, the Fed. Well, the Fed chief I've been sitting here all morning watching the Fed chief. I fell asleep for a little bit. He said nothing. Okay, earnings. Q1 earnings are going to suck. Trade deal. Folks, that's in here, man. It's already in here. I'm telling you it's in here. I talked to a lot of people smarter than me that also agree or say it's in there as well. So if institutional money, who more or less, remember folks, the number one buyer of the S&P 500 year to date has been the S&P 500. This is the reason we had this. Yeah, we had some institutional funds buying, but not institutions. Ain't no massive buyers of this market, especially up here at this high. Cleaning out the liberals in Congress could make the market go up. Well, Doyle, that's another reason why the market ain't going to go up. For the next 2 years, you are going to have this. Adam Schiff, that piece of shit congressman, who also with this whole Russia collusion, I have evidence and everything like that. And then the Senate came out and said, we have absolutely zero evidence of collusion. Why are we not indicting Hillary Clinton, McCabe, Comey, all these people, folks? If Donald Trump did this to the incoming Democratic president, they'd be screaming to have him castrated. I'm telling you, man, people like us get sick of it really is Animal Farm, man. All animals are equal. Some are more equal than others. We get idiots up in New York attacking themselves. I mean, at least he's the only guy that's gotten 2 Nigerians to work. It is a disgusting state of affairs in this country, where Hillary Clinton is running around free, or McCabe. We still got guys running around with a security clearance, a badge, and a gun. On this old fighter pilots forum, if I had sent or received or had my own little private server in my house as a naval officer, they would have arrested me, court-martialed me, and thrown me in jail. So, and it really makes people like me start to not give a shit about following the law. Why should I follow the law when nobody else does? Why be the only sucker that's doing things right? It's awful. All right, so we got data today. We're going to get Powell again tomorrow. Factory orders, pending home sales will really see. I'm telling you, housing's imploded, guys, whether it's Dallas or San Francisco. This country is imploding. The housing market is imploding. That is a huge canary in the coal mine. Thursday, let me get to Thursday night real quick. Let me ignore some of our Thursday stuff, but look at this. We have the Caxton Manufacturing Index, and then actually Wednesday night we have the Manufacturing PMI and Non-Manufacturing PMI. I believe that these are going to be awful numbers. The past couple times, these numbers have been awful. Hang on. Oof. Oh my God, look at that, man. Anybody see a trend? Wow. Look at that. That's their manufacturing PMI. And remember, folks, this is, and I think that's a lie. I think it's even worse than depicted on that screen. What's the non-manufacturing? All right, choppy at best. Let's look at the Caxton Manufacturing and PMI. Oh my God, look at this. So we're going to talk about some FX. Oh my gosh, man, look at that. Is that a bearish or bullish chart to anybody there? Look at their manufacturing PMI. Woo. So, trade deal, schmade deal, their economy is absolutely imploding. I get it. That the, that they, yeah, exactly. President Xi can't ignore that type of stuff, but I'm telling you folks, I sailed through the region. I've done the defense of Taiwan exercises. The Chinese don't care about their people, period. How about that guy's Nike shoe the other night blowing out? That's what you get with $10 Chinese labor. They fired the 10-year-old kid that made those shoes. So Nike took responsibility and fired the 10-year-old. Now his family's starving to death. So we'll get a slew of this is a big macroeconomic data week. Okay. So in 1 week, we have everything. You ready for this? We got North Korea. We got the Fed. We got, some China news. And then we also have a slew of macro data. This is a big week. And it doesn't look like, you have to feel these things sometimes. There's no airspeed on this jet, man. This is its stall. We are hypoxic up here, and there is no reason. This is a massive rally. Massive. And it's going to give some back. You can take that to the bank. All right, let's review existing positions. Everybody. Well, it's up to you, man. If you think getting out of FXI right now is wrong, I stay in it. So, but yeah, exactly. But Kaepernick sacrificed everything. Needs to sacrifice a haircut. Let's go through. Let's take a look at MGM because so everybody sit up straight here. Last week we put on an MGM bull put spread, the 27.5, 27. Close this trade right now. Got in. It's up $150. Close it. Everybody hear me? My commit criteria is, well, of course, as I said, it's at 15 cents. It's a break even right now. You can get out for scratch. Get out. We're going to get bearish. The reason, and here's a perfect example, is my commit criteria has changed. My 3 to 5 cents as to why I got into MGM last week. For a bunch of reasons, but let me close the order ticket here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's last week. Nice pop, moving sideways, and I thought it was going to be a China. I said, hey, I believe that the gaming guys are going to rally on a trade deal. We're going to see a relief rally out of these. Even if they do, they're going to sell off. That's JP Morgan. Why did these things revert back? There we go. I was like, wait, that didn't do that. This was last week. We were right at the 50-day moving average, and we had a nice pop. The price action is bearish. Get out of the trade. Does everybody understand that? Say yes. So we're going to get bearish because I believe, stop switching symbols. I believe that all these things are going to sell on the news. Now, if you do not believe that, if you think I'm wrong, I'm telling you, man, and red team me saying this, I believe the stocks are going to sell on the news. This country, the Chinese, have trade war fatigue. We're also going to get hit with Chinese everything I just showed you. And I think that data are slowing down. So that is not a good looking chart right there. We've broken through the middle of the Keltner channel. We held the 50-day moving average last week. But we're actually going to get bearish. I'm going to get bearish on this. Brett, haven't talked about those yet. Let me finish MGM. Let's just stay where we are, and then I'll move to those. But quick answer, Raytheon and CSX are not trade war trades. Raytheon's a defense trade, and CSX is a infrastructure trade. So completely different, all different. You got to look at those individually, everything individually. This was a trade war trade, and we're going to sell on the news here. So let's go ahead. Close the 27.5, 27 bull put spread. Let me edit this to make sure we annotate that we're doing that. Hey, real quick, Deb, I don't know if you're in here. Deb, just a quick reminder, we have our coaching at 3 today, and then Clay, you are on for 4. I haven't seen you register yet, Clay. I don't know if you're in here, but you haven't registered. But Deb, I see that you're registered there. Yeah, there you are. Good. So we have ours. Mike, Friday at 1, and Jeff Friday at 3. And then Phantom, I don't know if you're in here. I sent you some times for Friday, so make sure you guys send me back here. All right. So let's do this. What the heck? Paragraph. Update. What's today's date? 2/22/26. Close MGM 27.5, 27 bull put spread, 15 cents, 14 cents for scratch. Turning. Let me just say this: commit. I spelled commit wrong. Commit. All right. Okay, so let's look bearish on this thing. Clay, what's your email say? Or please tell me now so I can figure it out. Got a lot of balls in the air here, so let's get rid of this. I think the president, let's go out to March 29th. Let's take a look at this. The 28 and a half. What's 50 cents higher? Let's do this one. Let's give us almost $1 of upside here. 150. So I'm getting bearish here on MGM. I think we're gonna. I already mumbled through my commit criteria. So let's just look at the trade. So bull put spread has changed. I'm getting out of that trade. I would close that trade, and then I would look to get bearish. So we can. Okay, Clay, send me a better time. If not today, then maybe tomorrow. Sell 150 of March 19's 28 and a half calls. Okay, let's just take a look at the technical analysis here. That's, here's the 28. Right, this is kind of peaked out right around 28 and a half, in between 28 and a half and 29. So I like that, like this level right here. And it was also, if you look back here, let me just put it right there. So resistance, a little bit of support here, and then it was resistance. So I like these strikes right here. So selling 150 of the March 29, 28 and a half calls, and as a hedge, in case I'm wrong and we have massive rip your face off euphoria on a trade deal, we're long at the 29 strike. So if this thing turns around and rips higher, we're hedged, right? This is I'm bearish on MGM, right? I'm using calls and it's a spread. This is a bear call spread. We'll start talking about spreads. I think Thursday night, but bear call spread. Clay, tomorrow 2. Yeah, I think that'll work, Clay. All right. So initially when we brought this up, we could have gotten 17 cents. So it's moved away from me a little bit. I'll probably go around 2 cents wide. I'd rather I'm going to try and get 17. Let me save this. MGM 226. All right. Clay, it'll be, well, let me just do this right now. It'll be the same link. Here's all I do, Clay. So let me do this real quick, man, so I don't forget. Edit. I've sent you this link a couple times, man, so please look in your email. So there you go. Wednesday at 1, or I'm sorry, 2. So there you go. So you have to register, Clay. It automatically changes it. So you should have the link already. All right. Let's go. 17 cent credit. So this is also called a credit spread. This trade brings in a credit of $2,500, $2,600. But let's take a look at our max potential risk. This is the first place our eyes always go as an options trader, man. So, John, more alpha out to March 29th. Plus, I think the president might be meeting around March 22nd. I want to get a little bit of a sell on the news. I want to add a week to March 22nd. So that is March 29th. I wanted another week of time for this thing to go down. I think, I think we break this 50-day moving average. And if we do it with some airspeed. I think we're going to head lower. I think everything's heading lower, man. Could be wrong. We could see a massive rip your face off rally. Don't feel it. I just don't feel it. Ticker 1. Tickers and charts up trending. Oh, cool, Rick. I'll take a look at that. I didn't know they did that. All right, let's take a look at our metrics. If you're, having a notional $100,000 model portfolio, if your SOP is not risking more than 5% or $5,000 on any one trade, then that's where the $5,000 in risk, folks, right here, 49.50 is based on 150 contracts. Okay, we'll get into more detail on this when we do our spread training. But this is, don't want to risk that much money, then you don't do that many contracts. It ain't rocket surgery, folks. Man, I don't mind risking 10 grand. Well, then you do 300 contracts. I don't want to risk more than $1,000. Well, then you do, 75, whatever that would be, 50 contracts. So risking 49.50 to potentially make 25.50. Let's grab a screenshot of that. save as MGM. Okay. Now, one of the reasons I love selling credit spreads is you can make money 3 out of 4 ways in this trade. So right now, this is the price of MGM. This where I'm where that blue line is, where I'm dotting down. This is why I like using E-Trade to demonstrate. I don't fire my trades through here. Their execution ain't super good, as some of you know. But so MGM goes down, we make money. MGM stays where it is, kind of hovers around this Keltner channel right here. We make money. MGM can even go up a little bit, right? As long as it stays below the break even of 28.67. Okay, which is literally, it's more than $1 back from where we are right now. So we'd have to see a pretty significant pop out of MGM. That's the one way we lose money, is not only does MGM go up, but it goes up more than our break even. Okay. And obviously, as we know, with credit spreads, we love theta. We love time decay. When you sell something, you love that it's a Greek, right? It's called theta. It's called time decay. That's a phi delta theta. We love theta. So if you go down here, all these Greeks have different meanings. We covered delta the other night. Gamma, don't worry about. Vega is the Vega's volatility, but rho is the speed of the change of the Vega. And we can talk about scalp and gamma. You can get all sorts of booger eater stuff in here, which is not absolutely required to do at all. So theta right there, if you keep your eye on it, every day that goes by, we make money on this trade. Well, Wiz, what if it's losing money? Well, you are losing less money because you get theta. You get time decay, right? So, Kevin, this is a standalone trade. So Kevin's saying, hey, is this a good standalone trade? This only is a standalone trade. I'm going to close the bull put spread. So Kevin started this conversation with getting out of the bull put spread. The existing trade right now is this. Well, actually, let me put in the new trade. Update. New MGM bull put spread. Let me just paste this in here. Paste. There you go. Let me update that. Let me put this in bold. Okay. Bold. Click update. So yeah, so this is a standalone trade, guys. This is a get out of the and I'd go plus or minus 2 cents from 17. So we're actually underneath. As I'm talking about this thing went even lower. So we talked this into the ground a little bit as let's bring up the chart. There you go, folks. There's us talking about this. That's TGO right there. I got to write this on my checklist to start looking at this. There was almost no open interest or volume in these strikes before we started talking about that. We are doing this, guys. So, oops, yeah, sorry. Bear call. Thank you, man. New MGM. Bear call. No, stupid. All right, let me. I'll keep the trade up here on the screen, and I'm going to send out a text alert. So give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Enjoy the silence. Clay, I will answer that because it's how about a bear call spread on Amazon? Man, you like playing with fire, don't you? No, thank you. Play with you can do it. PLTB. Hang on. You bet, Steve. Yeah, the burner trade was awesome. A couple people did both the calls and the the burner trade. So yeah, glad to hear it. Yeah, we'll do more of those, man. I like those. Those are, and I'm getting faster at getting the text alerts out because I found a couple shortcuts. So let me. Wait a minute. What the heck's going on here? Yeah, Clay, more of a weekly trade. Not if you're looking tactically, yeah, but I would not be bearish on Amazon more than out a week. Does that make sense? I just don't. I can go. Let me finish this and then we'll talk about that. I don't know why this thing isn't updating. SMS broadcasts, publish. Okay, there we go. All right, man, about 30 seconds away. Okay, good, Clay. Yep. Publish. Campaigns. Yeah, Amazon is trading in a range, guys. The problem, as you all know, with iron condors are great until when? When are iron condors great until? Guys, Amazon's trading in a range, and then it won't. So, iron condors are great until they're not. So be very, very, very careful. I don't mind doing them, but remember, you're kind of flying around in your Superman cape. That better not send out two texts. Exactly. Tamara, Ray, yeah, and Clay, and Rick, yeah. The iron condors are great trades until they're not. It seems like common sense statement, but it isn't. All right, so there is MGM. We talked about the burner trade. Let me get back to the point somebody made up a while ago, up top side there. CSX, Raytheon, those two in particular are not trade war trades. They're completely different and standalone outside of a trade war. CSX has had a phenomenal run. I'm not going to just throw a bear call spread on to get a bear call said or spread on there. And let's take a look at Raytheon. I would get back. Remember, we've been taking a break with some Raytheon and CSX short calls. I'd still do that, guys. I mean, even though I'm a 0.8 delta on, kind of selling on the trade war news, I could be completely wrong. And this thing, these pop. So let's sit on our hands a little bit longer as far as upside calls and anything. Even though you can step in front of it. I mean, if you're feeling overall like I am that, getting bearish here, even though I'm a 0.8 delta, that means what? The options trader in me says I'm what, 0.2. I'm 20%, 20% probability that I'm wrong, and we could have a rip your face off rally. So I don't want to go super all in. I'd say I'm bearish with a little b. Kind of like cautiously bullish. Well, I'm kind of bearish with a little b. But let's take a look at Amazon. So everybody's kind of poking around Amazon here. We had good bull put spread last week. If you got into the 1640 Iron Condor, it was about a $3,800 weekly options profit. But this is dangerous. I got to be honest with you, man. I've been trading Amazon for a long, long time, man. It does not do this. Look at this. When's the last time it was in a range? Maybe a year. It's 2017. Look at that. This is strange, man. I don't hang out and throw darts, man. But something's creepy here. Arthur, yeah, I just sent it. Text is sent. Yep. So, Rick, on Raytheon, in addition to my long calls, I have started purchasing 3-month puts and started selling weekly puts against them. That's a good idea, Rick. I like it. Amazon is getting ready to break out, but which direction? So, Harry, when you say something like that, Amazon looks like it's going to break out in which direction? When I don't know, I don't trade, right? Not cash is a position. I don't throw darts here, man. Amazon is going to break out. It can't trade sideways here forever. If I had my, if you're asking my opinion, excuse me, I think we had higher on, Amazon Prime had a crash the other day. That was weird that we didn't see anything out of what's his name or nothing. That's a little creepy. The guy, let's send out the, this thing. So the MGM bear call spread went out via email. So did a bull put spread. So let's not, hang on, guys. Okay. So this is, yeah. Well, it was Atlas Air, but Atlas owns the airplanes, and I've been briefing on this for years that Amazon has been leasing them, right? So they were Atlas Air guys, and they can't find the third. I got to be honest with you, man. 767s don't plunge from the sky on landing approach. Period. And even if a dude has a heart attack, there's another dude there, and there was a jump seater. I'm not going to throw super wild speculations out there. It ain't good. So something's wrong there. So, Rob, Amazon needs to get back to 1650 before bullish. Guys, this is strange. I don't like. But for all the Iron Condor folks out there, knock yourself out, and then you are going to knock yourself out. So you could do some Iron Condors around here, folks, until you can't. So just if you're doing an Iron Condor on Amazon, keep your leash extremely tight, and also keep your eject extremely tight. Do not take. There's going to be a move. So. Yeah, Karen, somebody else said that. He's a Mesa guy, or no, he's a New United guy, formerly Mesa. So, yeah. Well, Tamara, you're going where I wanted to go for the rest of the webinar. Right now, and I did this the other week, and it didn't work out for me. I did an actual SDS trade. It wasn't a trade or a hedge. It was a trade. I'm like, hey, man, we're heading lower, and we didn't. And that one sucked. But I did a good job of saying what? I'm not doubling the credit that I took in to eject. I'm going inside of it. I think it was 26 cents, and I actually put in the text, I'm like, get out at 20, and I did. So we avoided a max loss on that one, but I believe we are heading lower. John, I was going to brief that. I think it's up here somewhere, but yeah, India and Pakistan are going at it, folks. Two nuclear powers are attacking each other. I'm watching it. I'm talking about it in my old fighter pilots forum. It can't be a good thing, but hopefully those folks are running around with some mutually assured destruction. Nope, David, I covered that, guys. Listen to me. Do not do the MGM bull put spread. Get out of the MGM bull put spread. The only MGM trade in this portfolio is the bear call spread that I just covered. Everybody give me a vertical head nod. Do not do the MGM bull put spread. Get out of it. Everybody acknowledge that was a misfire. I guess that one was still hanging out stacked in there. So let's review this again. Everybody listen up. Okay, David, cool. Yeah, update. New MGM bear call spread. Right there, okay? Close, and then right above this, close the bull put spread if you can get even, 15 cents, or you can get 100. When I said to get out of it earlier in the session, I think it was up a penny, $150. Okay, so everybody get out of it. But here's what, Yeah, it ended up firing the analyze your trade thing from last week. So yeah, I mean, Pakistan and India going at it. You would think two nuclear powers, they're just going to exchange some shots back and forth and then call it a day. Let's hope. That could turn out extremely bad. But I'm keeping an eye on that. Iran's going through some 3 days of their annual Cobra Gold or whatever the hell they call their exercises. They're doing live fire drills in the Gulf. I believe I was out there during some of their exercises and shit like that. It was interesting. But, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff strategically going on that, we'll keep an eye on it. But there's really nothing out there that's kind of good. Let me red team here. What's the good? Somebody give me the bullish case. Somebody give me the bullish case. Are they reversed, Matt? Damn it. Let me see. In the text or the email? Let me take a look. Well, the email's right, guys. It's the order ticket. So if the text has them reversed, I'm not going to send out another text. The email's got the actual damn pictures in there. So everybody look at the email. But what's the bullish case? Steve, that's a good one. $5 trillion of printed money. Tamara, I talked about that during the strategic brief. I don't think so. I absolutely do not think first of all, I don't think there's going to be a treaty with North Korea, and a denuclearization treaty. I think the best we could do would be we've signed a peace agreement to end the Korean War. If we did that, however, Tamara, let me float this idea. Why would we have 40,000 troops in South Korea if we're not at war anymore? So, does that make sense? Oh, okay, yeah. So while I'm asking, so what's the bullish case? Somebody tell me what's going to take equities higher. So, Mike, they already delayed the Brexit today, right? So the ECB has been printing money. So, and Mario Draghi, famously years ago said what? I'm going to do whatever it takes to save the euro. So I think, Mike, that's already factored in there. As a matter of fact, if they start printing more, it might actually be bearish, right? That's when people overseas go, hey, man, something must be awfully wrong if there's going to start some QE again and lower interest rates. Gary, act of God, unknown good news. Yeah, Gary, but I agree. You're right. It's good job red teaming and throwing it out there. But what is that? What I'm getting at, folks, is I got a big question mark for up here. And we have a lot of known unknowns and known knowns down here. So more snow in Montana. There you go, Rob. Christine, I don't think that's going to be that bullish. It might be bullish for oil. I just don't think Maduro stepping down in Venezuela is going to make the market rally. I got to be honest with you. Aside from oil traders, nobody in New York, Chicago, or London cares about Venezuela. Period. It's sad, but it's the truth. So, Dano, Captain Kirk trade going where no one has gone before. Dano, like I've been posting in the Ready Room, or posted in the Ready Room, I think with Graham, my Captain Kirk trades would be the tech. Would be Facebook's just a awful company, and guess what? Nobody's starting to care. Huge expose in the Journal. This was national news, and then it went away. You give all the apps, a lot of your apps on your phone. Like I found out my Fitbit, all the stuff that I give to Fitbit. Guess who Fitbit tells? Facebook. Wall Street Journal testing reveals how the social media giant collects a wide range of private data from developers. This is a big mess. Millions of smartphone users confess their most intimate secrets to apps. And guess who finds out about it? Facebook, folks. Sam, I covered all of this about MGM. You showed up late and you're asking questions I'd already covered. Not going to answer it. So, folks, the Captain Kirk trade would be a tech, not Twitter. I think that thing's just going to implode. Right now, if a Captain Kirk trade would be Facebook. to be honest with you. It's not going out of business anytime soon. I think the business model's awful. The dude's awful. It's all awful. Nobody's seen the guy. Has anybody seen him or Sheryl Sandberg? We saw last week Sheryl Sandberg dumping a boatload of stock, right? Sam, correct. If you keep the bull put spread and the bear call spread, it's an incredibly tight iron condor. That's what that position would be. I would not do that, as I covered before. If you said you were in the room when I covered all this, then you heard me the first time. So this was a massive this is a long article, folks. You need to read this. Facebook knows everything about you. Everything. So, but if you're asking for a Captain Kirk trade, it would be a tech, one of these, man. A Netflix, a Google. I think government regulation is coming. It ain't coming anytime soon. These guys are still going to be disgusting and steal everything and monetize it. As an American, I think it's a disgrace. The company should be broken up. As Gordon Gekko, I would get bullish on it. Exactly, man. But no, let's go back to what Tamara was saying. Ed, well, let me ask you this, and we'll see if I need to take some time to cover it. Does everybody have a hedge on? Dennis, you got it, my friend, unless you don't have a Facebook account. And then, Dennis, even then, I'm pretty sure they snuck onto your phone somehow and know how to get in, or they're finding it. Somebody, can you paste, Doug, somebody click on this and let me know if it's public. Everybody should have a Wall Street Journal subscription, period. It is the best money you'll ever spend. But somebody tell me if you can click on that and it's public. And this is your homework. If you can read this and not want to jump in the shower because it's a disgrace what this company's doing, but then also look at it and say, wow, God bless them for, it's like I feel like Trump with China and the trade war, right? Trump keeps saying, hey man, I don't blame you, Xi or China. Hey man, I take advantage of us too. I'm a businessman. But now those days are over with. So I love the way that Trump talks, and it's not public. Yeah, okay. Nope, David, that passed. The debt ceiling is not a problem anymore. Jerome Powell talked about that today. So government shutdowns, debt ceilings, all the stuff that we used to have, like under John Boehner and that Paul Ryan. What a disgrace Paul Ryan is. Has anybody seen that dude? He's slinked away. What an awful Speaker of the House he was. The Republicans own the House, the Senate, and the White House and couldn't get shit done. Didn't pass immigration reform or nothing. Paul Ryan's a disgrace. Exactly, Steve. You are a dumb F if you give me your information. He called us all dumb Fs. So you got to love a guy that does that. But what I'm getting at, let's get to this, guys, is what? We, just like I briefed you on, we are at a quadruple top here. Nobody's convinced me yet. I mean, you might have convinced yourself. Nobody's convinced me yet of this. I've convinced myself of a lot more stuff to do that. But Tamara, I could be wrong. North Korea, breaking news, end of the Korean War. I just don't see. I got to be honest with you. Being in Chicago, being in New York, I wouldn't buy. I'd go, yay. How am I making money today? Where are we going drinking at 7? Nobody cares about that, unfortunately. India, Pakistan. Okay, if they nuke each other, the stock market will be at 0, but no, that's not going to happen. So it's just hard to put some, stuff to work. Leonard. Oh, really, Steve? Well, John, that's what I'm trying to get everybody to. So, well, Mike, it's been doing so. Remember, I've said markets don't do this, but it did this. You have to trade the market you have, not the one you want. But guess what? So we traded this. We rode this. This was a hold your nose rally, right? With one hand, we're buying, and we did some good work on this way up. But here's the market we have. The market we have is running out of airspeed. How many of you, if you're a hedge fund manager, some guy walks in and gives you $1 billion in a briefcase, goes, put that money to work. Where are you going to do it? Even look at look at some of the horses we've been riding for some massive profits lately. Look at Raytheon's run. Look at from the bottom here, man. It's a 28% run in 2 months. See, and it's running out of airspeed. CSX. Let me go backwards since it's not clicking. 20% run. Raytheon 28, CSX 20%. MGM's been flat. CME we bailed out of, thank God. FXI, look at the FXI run, man. 17%. So these things are all doing great, but they're running out of money. What I was trying to get everybody to go towards was at least getting a hedge on, either getting long. Let's take a look at the VIX. We haven't looked at the VIX in a while here, man. Take a look at the volatility index. Okay. So, Robert, so we're going to talk about that tonight and Thursday. So, Sam, I just said it, man. Last week, I said to get out of CME, and I just said it again. I said, we are out of CME Group. CME is a sell, get out of it. Arthur, we talked about it. Let me cover Rick here, or Robert, I'm sorry. So, folks, I've covered this a couple times, and you have to go listen to the training. If we have a Raytheon or a CSX and the market decides to crash and this goes down, I don't get out of it. What do? I sell bear call spreads. I buy bear put spreads. I do double verticals. I sell at the money or in the money calls. So you have, so you still have the ability to make money. And remember, folks, one of the reasons I like a Raytheon, a CSX, even MGM for a while there, and an Amazon for a while there, they have been immune to the overall market. Not super immune, but immune. Let's compare CSX versus the S&P 500 for the past 6 months. CSX, SPX. Let me go 6 months. Oh, no, that's kind of correlated, isn't it? There we go. 1 year chart. So 1 year chart, when Jerome Powell in November kind of destroyed capitalism, CSX followed that. But going forward, man, I think a lot of the positions that we trade aren't divorced from those. My point being is this. So somebody just asked, like, for example, in December, let's look at the December implosion here. Did I say to get out of CSX? No. What did we do? Bear call spreads and sell at the money to in the money calls. So you can make money as your synthetic stock is going down, folks. And then guess what happens? When it starts doing this, your sales are perfectly set. You're even more profitable as you go up. Does that make, we're going to cover that in full throttle training, and I know that was a very quick answer, but it should be that's what you do. When something's going down that you like, that you know by Jan 21 ain't going to be imploding, you sell at the money or in the money calls, and you do bear call spreads. Maybe even just buy some puts or something like that. Does that make sense? Did that answer your question? That's a very short answer to a much longer issue, Robert. But that's what we do. Yeah, and that's the way the market goes. So let's get back to the VIX. Let's get back to the volatility index, because the VIX is down here at 15 handle. So our most recent resting heart rate is right around here, right around 15 and a half, right there. 15 and a half, 15 and a half. We skimmed along it here and then broke underneath it, and we're trying to get back up here. So here's where we are. If you don't believe, is there anybody? Well, let me kind of get a show of hands. How many of you think that we're going to see a rally? The president's going to get a trade deal done, and we head higher, man. We just go higher. Does anybody think that? Let me see. No way, no way, no. Robert is a yes. David's a yes. Sideways, no. Crickets, not a chance, no. Sam saying a rally, short term. Rally, no. I'd say 75% are saying no. Doyle, whatever. I think it's just going to do the opposite. Arthur saying a rally. Leonard saying, no, we're overbought. Dennis, he needs a trade deal. Well, that's what I'm saying, guys. I'm asking, do you think the market rallies on a trade deal after this? Right? Exactly, Karen. After this massive rally, you think that's going to happen? So, even if we get a short-term pop, I think we get a drop. So here's what I'm getting to with our remaining time together is this wouldn't be a trade or a trudge. It would be more of a hedge, right? I don't think we're necessarily going to see some massive spike in volatility, but what did we see yesterday? A lot of us saw the phenomena of what? Market up, VIX up, something is up. Robert, I don't think you can say that just based on technical analysis. So Robert's saying, hey, if we break above 2,800 and hold it for a couple days, massive rally. I'm telling you, markets just don't say, hey, massive rally. There's got to be catalysts. So I'm trying to pull out of you guys what the catalysts are for that massive rally. David, I couldn't agree more. David's saying we need to go down for a while to get a sustainable rise. There's no base, folks, right? That's why a lot of people were hoping we went back to this thing. But this quadruple top is not bullish. Okay, if we hit this thing with some airspeed and had kept going through it and didn't hit it, it's resistance right now, guys, right? This is resistance. Matthew, well, that would cause a massive rally if the Fed cut interest rates. I'm also going to tell you that if the Fed cut interest rates, people would also freak the hell out and go, why is the Fed cutting interest rates? That is not good, right? Why is the Fed cutting interest rates? Because something might be awfully wrong and, oh my God, what are they not telling us? So you got to be careful of that, right? So you have to be very, very, very careful. Benoit, no catalyst, you said it all. Yeah, Rick, we just seen a December and February that did the opposite of what is typical. I don't know how anyone has forecast what's going to happen next. That's exactly what I'm doing here, folks, is doing this. When I draw question marks around here, that's open and honest here, man. I don't see any catalyst to the upside. And we saw, you're correct, usually we get a December, January rally, that Santa Claus rally, and we saw the exact opposite. We finally got a Santa Claus rally here, but it did the exact opposite. So what I'm getting at, guys, is it's time, if you don't have some hedges on, it's time to get some hedges on. However, and I'm not going to eat up a shitload of airtime because I did this weeks ago, if I'm using the hedge word and you have a smaller portfolio, you might not want to do this. I'm talking, and remember we did this about a month ago where most of you were like, who've been here for years, were like, this is the best brief you've ever given. Everybody has to watch that brief, right? Everybody go and watch the brief. I forget which one it is. You can just scroll through the replays. Let's take a look at this. There's a couple ways to trade this. You could buy some SPX puts, some SPY puts. I don't think volatility is going to have a massive spike. If the market rolls over, I think SDS is going to have a massive spike. I just now, Tamara, I wouldn't be looking at the spreads. I would just be looking at, this is a straight put buy of SDS. Okay, I would buy some calls. And I'd cover March, man. Let's look at, this is a head. Yeah. So, maybe towards the end of the webinar, I'll go try and find it. You have got to watch the replay where I talk about the difference between a hedge, a trudge, and a trade, and also between different portfolios from 0 to 25 grand, 25 to 75 and above 75 grand. Okay. Yeah, I'll try and find it. Let me take a look at some calls first. So it's very, very important. Why am I saying if you have a smaller portfolio, you might not want to hedge? Does that sound stupid? I always want to be hedged. You are. If you're trading, if you're doing the trades I'm doing here, Topkin options, you are hedged. in and of itself. Synthetic stock, bear call spread, bull put spread, iron condors, those, anything that has a spread, you spread your risk out. You are hedged. What I'm talking about is an overall portfolio hedge, right? So, Arthur, I will at the end, let me, I would rather buy some calls here if you have a larger portfolio, and larger is, size matters, right? So depends on what your definition of large is. Like I said, 0 to 25, 25, I think to 75, 75. I'll find that lecture for you. But look at this. I would just go out. Let's go. And it did. Yeah, the SDS has seen an implosion from all the way up here and 47 down. We're down here in the low 30s. Can it go lower? Yes. That's why if you have a smaller portfolio, you don't listen to me. You don't want to do this trade. If you do this trade, it would be called a tredge because it's a trade that's also serving as a hedge, right? Again, I don't want to chew up too much airtime because it's already covered in one that's recorded. But let's look at I probably buy the calls. I want to cover March, right? Sometime in here, I think Xi and Trump are meeting. If I am wrong, these calls will lose money. If I am wrong, all my other positions will make money. CSX, Raytheon, MGM, Amazon, you name it. So my Jan 21s, if I'm wrong and we do get a rally and Wiz, you're wrong about the trade deal. Oh, wow, sorry, I'll buy us all around of drinks. We're all making money. We'd lose money on these calls. That's why I'm saying with a larger account is when you should do these like kind of straight SDS calls. Okay? And I'm chewing up airtime that you can watch in that video. So let's take a look. The calls that are closest to a 0.8 are probably these 32.5. And if you don't know why I'm buying the calls closest to a 0.8, you didn't come to the full throttle training the other night, and you need to watch the replay. That's why I don't do a ton. This is strange. E-Trade with their pricing. Hang on. There's the April. Let me pull up those. This is weird. You see this? The delta 0.76 for the 33s, 0.84, and then 0.74. That's physically, mathematically impossible. E-Trade. These guys have not been good lately. Does somebody tell me on your platform the closest to the 0.8 calls? I know, Tamara, that's what I want. I went out to April 5th to try and reboot the system, went back to March 29th, and deselected April 5th. They didn't change. Rick's saying the 32.5, Dano and John are saying the 33s. Which one is it, guys? Now Randy's saying the 32. So there you go, folks. Everybody looking at different brokerage platforms. Look at all the different answers. So now there you can see that everybody's got different pricing and different secret sauce. Let's just say the 33s here. Let's just do these. So I would buy, excuse me, I'd probably buy about 30 of these. Based on a $100,000 model portfolio. Okay. So so remember, folks, when you buy calls, when you simply buy calls, the most you can lose is what you came out of pocket. The most I could lose is $43.50. Market has a rip your face off rally. SDS is going to implode. Market comes back or implodes. SDS is going to have a rip your face off rally, right? So, but if you don't want to spend, mid-market is 48.30. I was wrong. So close to $5,000. But to be honest with you, maybe I do half of this. Since I am doing a hedge, I don't want to come out of pocket. Maybe I'll do half of my normal risk. Does that make sense? Yeah, sure, Tamara. SDS settles in shares, folks, does not settle in cash. An index settles in cash. SPX, VIX, the RUT, RUT. ETFs settle in cash, folks. Always remember that. So this is what I would do with a medium to larger portfolio. If I had a smaller portfolio where I don't have a shitload of capital, I would not buy these calls unless you really, really, really believe that what? That the market's going to roll over. If you don't, oops, hold on, mid-market now, 20, let me grab these again. So let me find that recording, guys, because I'm not going to give you the hour lecture again on this, but it was probably, and I'd agree with it, not patting myself on the back, but I'd agree that it was probably the best webinar I've done here at Top Gun Options. So you're going to have to watch that because I talk about the different size accounts and what you should potentially do. And I think it was, I got to be honest with you, I think it was the time we talked about this, like SDS. So this is going to be good. SDS 226. There's the metrics. Let me go find it now, guys. Let's find this because this is a must watch. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Dennis, we're going to make a market in them. They should be. Yeah, it was SDS and VXX, Karen, right? Yeah, you're right. Let's find it. I think it was in a PLTB. And I'll put the link here and then also in the replay, so don't worry about it. But let's find it. Or was it analyze your trade? Hang on. Oh yeah, you're right, Mike. It was weekly options. Thank you. I think it was based on your question, man. It was the what? 20. Yeah, there it is. All right. I'm going to post this in the chat box. Thank you, Judy. Yep, it's right here. Chat. Now, if you don't have access to weekly options, everybody click on that and make sure it comes up. I might have to change the tags here to give everybody permission to see it because it was a weekly options brief, and if you're in full throttle defensive or some of the other services, you might not get this. Steve, I do record everything that I do. Why are you asking? It is recorded. It's right here. Scroll down, and yeah, I did. Karen, you're right. We talked about SDS, spread calls, and the double vertical. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, guys. That's where the replay is. It is right here. This is a must watch. If you don't watch this, I'm going to be able to tell by the questions that you ask. Does everybody understand this? Can't find most of them. Do the FT replay link. Steve, you're dude. Where are you going, Steve, to watch the replays? That do not go to. This is the free stuff, guys. FT replay is, you're a member now, man. There's nothing on this page, guys. Do not. This is when we do full throttle launches, folks. Do not go on this page. Folks, everybody do me a favor, unless you've been here for a year. People aren't watching the Getting Started video, guys. I go in the Getting Started video, I cover where all the content is, how to access it. It is right here. So everybody, so the replays are on the member pages, guys. Don't go to that FT replay page, man. That's like from the January full throttle launch. That's okay, Steve. Arthur, members should not be going to the FT replay page. That's like for when we do our full throttle launches, and I post the free replays, man. Guys, all the content. So let me just go to the homepage here. Here's the homepage. Right? You're logged in. It says log out. So that means I'm logged in. Up here on the upper right, it says what? Howdy, Matthew Buckley. So I know that I'm logged in. Where do I see the weekly options replays, Wiz? Underneath, well, first thing underneath member content you're going to do is watch the Getting Started video. The first thing on this page is the Getting Started video. Watch that. But anyway, hey, what's the weekly options stuff? Click on weekly options. Here is yesterday's weekly options brief where we closed the FXI burner trade. There's the replay right there. You just click on that to watch that. Does everybody understand that? Oops, sorry about that. So there you go. This is the, right here, guys, one more time. Sorry. This is the homepage, obviously. It says, howdy, Matthew Buckley, and it says log out. So that means I'm logged in. My name's up there, and it says log out. If I want to find something, first of all, that I said, go underneath member content. There's getting started. That's the welcome aboard video. Takes 20 minutes to watch. It'll answer every one of the questions that people are asking me right now. That's why I shot a video. But if I wanted to watch the weekly options replay or anything from weekly options, I click weekly options. If I wanted to watch the replays from the full throttle training, I click on full throttle. In a couple minutes after we get done here, I'm going to post this replay and the trades on the primary live trade brief page. Here's last week's 19 February. Here's the week before, 11 February. Here's the week before, 29 January. Everything's on here, guys. So you should not be going to any pages outside of this to watch any replays. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Okay, Tamara, try it shouldn't be like that. Try and get with Susie if you can, or if you can. Exactly, James. But yeah, so no, everything's it's here. It's on the, obviously if you don't have all of our services, folks, I own the place, so I have access to everything. So if you're not seeing all this on your drop down, you're not a member in all the services, period. It's kind of funny how people email and yell at Susie, like, I can't see this. You're not paying for it. Oh, okay. Not a charity. So if you're not seeing certain stuff, you might not be paying for it. Some people came in under the Black Friday Thanksgiving sale, which was, dirt basic services, and complaining they don't have access to everything. Exactly. So, all right. Thanks, Tamara. I appreciate it. John, getting started video will answer questions so people can ask them again live. Oh, Joe, exactly. And I will push one more time for the Ready Room, folks. If you have questions, concerns, to share some intelligence, I found a good article, all sorts of stuff, Brazil, oil, CME, all sorts of stuff, folks, in the Ready Room. This is our forum, so you can get in there and ask each other questions, ask me questions in between briefs and stuff like that. Everything is in the is in the Ready Room here, okay? Member content, Ready Room. And like Joe was just saying, if you ain't watching the Getting Started video, you're asking me these questions live. So please, I'm begging you to watch the Getting Started video so we can not eat up airtime to do all this stuff, right? Patrick, that's exactly right. SDS volume went from 0 to 30. Yeah, we are making a market in there. So when people tell me like, there's not that much activity in there, this went from 0 to 38. So this is us, folks. And tomorrow on Fast Money at lunchtime, you might see one of the Nigerians. We're seeing unusual options activity in SDS, Judge. A lot of guys scooping up the March 29.8 Delta calls. These folks are saying that the market's running out of airspeed, and we're actually going to sell on the news, Judge. That's what these calls are saying. How was that? Was that a good imitation? Because that's what exactly could happen. And actually the price is going up on us there. So there you go. So good imitation of Dr. J. I know John, he's a good dude, great American. But what was it? FXI one time we did, we hit a bunch of unusual activities, options scanner. FXI, I'd be bearish on it, folks, but I'm not going to sell the wife, kids, get a second mortgage, a house to get bearish on it. I mean, we could see, a couple of people said that, hey man, we might see a short-term pop after a trade deal and then a drop, which is what might happen. So I don't gamble, man. If I have a question mark over my head, I sit on my hands, right? Cash is a position. So anyway. Exactly, Tamara. That's exactly right. All right, guys. I'll tell you what. Let me go. Let's wrap this up. And Deb and I have a coaching at the top of the hour. Clay, I moved ours. Hopefully you got the new link. And then I'll reach out to some other folks for Friday's coaching sessions. We have Accelerate Retirement tomorrow, and then Analyze Your Trade on Thursday. Full throttle training tonight and Thursday night. Covered calls and cash secured puts. Thanks, Dano. Make sure you show up tonight. A lot of you probably are familiar with covered calls. That might be how you got into options. You have to come and watch cash secured puts. Covered calls and cash secured puts have the exact same risk profile. It's going to shock you. If you've never done a cash secured put, check this out. Okay. Arthur, yeah, absolutely, man. I'll put the links in there. You can still contribute to MAD. This is, Yeah, absolutely, Arthur. I will. I'll put that in there. So, and we need to bump our numbers up here, guys. We still haven't broken 10 grand as an individual team goal, and then we still need about 7 grand for our Top Gun options goal. We blew out our goal last year, and we're running out of airspeed here. So, Arthur, I would appreciate it. And like I said, the offer still stands to reduce your next annual renewal by the amount that you donate. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. Deb, I'll see you at the top of the hour. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge it. God bless. I'll see you guys tonight at 7 o'clock.